Okay, let's resume revision of basic Java. And yeah, we are here in scanner class. This again is boring, but we'll complete it quickly. Just like system, the scanner class is predefined and built into Java for your use. So till now, okay, I started at 9 a.m. I started. So it's been 34 minutes. Okay, fine. I'm actually putting in timer as well. It says here 6 minutes, so we'll try to complete in 6 minutes. Class. Okay. Class is predefined and built into Java for your use. It's used to read user input in Java program. When we declare scanner, we need to tell it what type of input we are going to be scanning. This gets passed into constructor when we initialize it. Okay. For this exercise, we will build a program that walks us through writing code using the scanner class along with the inputs from the console, which we get from system.in. The scanner class comes with the Java in package java.util. Okay. Therefore, before we can use the scanner class in our own code, we must import it from that package, which can which you can do using the following: import java.util.scanner. Everything that is contained in java.lang package is automatically imported in every Java program. Every Java SDK installation comes with everything in java.base module, a collection of resources that makes Java what it is. The Java packages contained in java.base such as Java Util, Java IO provide helper functionality that isn't necessary to every program. We access these extra classes by importing. This tells the compiler to go to those packages and make sure the resource is available for use when we build. So why don't we include everything in a Java program? If we did that, our program would be used when compiled, including many files we will never use. Importing specific classes from these packages keep our software lean and efficient. Okay, so this is how we make the scanner class. Scanner sc equals to new scanner. This is a scanner instance which says that we have to read from system.in. Okay. Notice how we place system.in that will allow our program to read. Okay. Mhm. The scanner class can also read input from a file, which we'll cover later. Import the scanner class at the top of your program outside the class declaration. Okay, I have to import it as well. Okay. Import java dot what's the scanner class? Java dot util dot scanner. Now declare and instantiate a new scanner object. Okay, done. And then that's it. We are done in 3 minutes 39 seconds. Let's go next. Scanner functionality 13 minutes. Okay, I'll reset my timer. Hmm. Now that we are familiar with how to set up scanner, let's dive into the functionalities. Okay, variables, string, code, string input dot next. Okay, so this input dot next will give me the next string. Okay, integer. This input dot next int will give me the next integer. This is all from the system dot in stream. So whatever input the user has given me, this is how I parse the input. When I do input dot next, it gives me the next string. When I do input dot next int, it gives me the next integer, and likewise I can do for many other data types. The scanner class has several additional methods that help support data validation and control flow. We can use these to make sure we don't try to process data that doesn't exist and thereby run into errors in our program, also known as exceptions. Okay, so we can use this to make sure we don't try to process data that doesn't exist and thereby run into errors in our programs, also known as exception. Okay, fine. Input dot has next. This function returns a boolean that indicates if there is another token left to process. Input dot has next line. This function returns a boolean that indicates if there is another line. Okay, this function actually returns something as well. Okay, has next line. Okay, nice. So we can check before actually. The token. Okay, let's go ahead and ask the user to enter a name and then wait for their input. This is your first truly interactive program. Get excited. Beneath the comment, beneath the comment, write a print statement that asks the user what their name is. Okay, again, system.out.println what is your name. Run it. Done. After the print statement, declare a new string variable called username and initialize it with the scanner. Okay, so now I use string username equals to whatever input the user will give me. Sorry, the user will give me. I'll just do input dot next and it'll get stored in my username and then run. And yeah, it compiled correctly. Use system.out.printf to print the following. Okay, so I have to use system.out.printf hello percent s for the username. It's nice to meet you, and then I have to give username. Now let's test it out. First compile your program using correct command in the term. Okay, they want me to use the terminal now. Okay. This came a bit of a surprise. Okay. So I do java introduction dot java. Sorry, java c. Now run the program using correct. Okay, now there'll be a class which gets created. Introduction. Okay, Java, and I think just introduction. Yep, works. And then what is your name? My name is Animesh Anand. Hello Animesh, it's nice to meet you. Done. And it took me 6 minutes. Okay, this will take me 22 minutes as they are saying. I think we'll be able to complete it in 11 minutes as per our previous records. So file reader, file writer are two of Java's built-in input stream classes and can be extremely useful when your program is working with external files. When those files contain text information, both of these classes are specifically made to write character information. As with scanner, we will need to import these classes in order to use them in our program. They both reside in java.io package. Unlike with scanner, however, these classes throw a specific type of exception, an IO exception, if something goes wrong during the read-write process. Okay, this IO exception also needs to be imported from the same package. Okay, which exception did the scanner throw? Mhm. So scanner class has several additional methods that has support data validation. We can use these to make sure we don't try to process data that doesn't exist and thereby run into errors, also known as I don't know which exception is this, but they're saying that it's better to check has next line and then actually do the reading or the scanning. But in file reader they throw specific exception, that's IO exception, input output exception, if something goes wrong. We'll dive into how exceptions work later in the lesson. For now we'll add a line to make our main method declaration that simply throws IO exception out of the program. Okay, public static void main string args through IO exception. File reader instance in our program to read text from a file. How to a file reader instance in our program to read text from a file. Okay. Okay, so declare and initialize your file reader. File reader equals to new file reader and then the file path. Okay, an example will be like this: c dot forward slash something forward slash. Okay, forward slash, right? An example of how a relative path may look like is dot dot dot. Alternatively, you may choose to create an object file to file. Okay, file reader input 1 equals to new file reader input dot txt string file name as. Okay, this is also fine. String file name equals to args0. Oh, where are they getting args from? Use file object to pass file info to file reader. Okay, pass file path name directly to file reader. Option 1. Option 2. Use file object to pass file info. Okay. Save the file path that has been passed in by user into string variable. Okay. 0 and then okay, fine. Nothing to worry about. That's not something important. Read your file. Uh, Also much like scanner, file reader has methods to validate and content and read content. This. Okay. So yeah, Kaushik. I should I eat? I'm not sure. I had in morning. Yes. Okay. Okay. Also much like scanner, file reader has methods to validate content and read contents. These are dot ready and dot read. The dot ready method makes sure that the content is read, and the read method reads the file one character at a time. The following shows okay, fine, fine, fine. While reader.ready system.out.print char reader.read. Okay, nice. Okay, so what does that print? I don't know. Read your file. Okay, that read my file. Then step 3, wrapping up loose ends. It's critically important to close resources such as file and input stream. This can tie up memory on the processor, and in some file systems only one asset can access a file at a time, essentially blocking all access to the file from other sources. These resources can either be manually closed like we will do here, or automatically closed like try with resources block like we will implement in future exercise. Closing input dot close. Okay, so first instruction is before introduction class, import the file reader and IO exception classes from the java.io package. Okay, thanks for mentioning that it's java.io package. So I'll just do import java.io dot io exception import java.io file reader. and then then string path is there. Okay, I need to indicate that it might throw exception. This is just a indicating statement. I don't think it has any use other than indication itself. So this indicating statement you see, right, throws IO exception, is just there to tell that this function can throw IO exception. It doesn't actually have any use, but if we mention it, the people calling this function can actually put it in try and catch block, since they know that this function throws IO exception. So that's a good practice to have. Okay, so that's done. We can run. Okay, done. Declare a file reader using the path and which points to the relative path of input.txt. Name the file reader something pertinent. Let's name it file reader equals to new file reader, and then we'll give the path here. Okay, I think that should do it. Okay, now it's time to access our file. To do so, create a counter variable set to 0. Int counter equals to 0. This will contain -1 if the end of, okay, if the end of file is reached, or the raw data of the next character, which needs to be cast to a char. -1 if the end of the file is reached, or the raw data. Okay, it will contain -1 or the raw data of the next character. Oh, right, while loop for reading all characters in the file. This should use your file reader objects dot next method and continue until counter is -1. Okay, so we read right in the previous one. What does the next do? So the input dot next, it gives me the next string, right? The first thing to know about scanner class is that it breaks up the input using defined delimiter, and by default the delimiter is set to white space. So based on white space, it has already broken the input. This means every time there is a space or new line in our input, the scanner will recognize it as a new piece of input. In fact, it can do its best to search the input for the specific type of information. Okay, but this next gives me the string, right? Yeah. And what do they tell here? They tell here to print out each character using system.print and char counter. Okay, I see. It's not as complicated as I'm making it. So while counter is not equals to -1, but this is a wrong thing to do. because counter should. Okay, I think I should start like this. Int counter equals to file reader dot has next. This will give me boolean. Uh, right. Okay, so I'll do like this. This will give me boolean. If the boolean is true, no, sorry. If the boolean is true, I have to put counter as 0, otherwise minus 1. And this step I have to do inside the while loop as well. So if it's not equals to minus 1, what I do is string s equals to file reader dot next, and then I just print it system dot out dot print s, and also I print each character using system dot out dot print and char counter s plus char counter. Okay, and then we do this step again. Let's run it. Okay, error cannot find the symbol. This is the error we got here. On line 7 they say cannot find symbol in counter, symbol method has next. Okay, and why is that? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's learn from this error. How do we learn? Mostly we try to figure it out by ourselves and then we paste in Gemini. छोड़ो यार क्या है ये. Okay. Class you're using doesn't have method called has next or next. As you're encountering indicate that the file reader class you're using doesn't have methods called has next or next. Here's how to fix them. Import the correct package. The file reader class is part of java.io package. Make sure you have the following line at the beginning of your introduction.java file. import java.io.file reader. I have that using scanner class. So I didn't put scanner, right? Why didn't I put scanner? Where did I use scanner first of all? The file reader class is used to read raw bytes. To read lines, typically need scanner class. Okay, okay, okay. I see, I see, I see. I think I did not understand the whole thing back here when they were teaching me. The scanner functionality is fine, and then they came with file reader. They told us how to declare file reader, and then they should tell us to use scanner, right? They did not. Okay, yeah, they have told us. They told it here, man. Also, much like scanner, file reader has methods too. Okay, no, 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 no. They still haven't told anything. Okay. Hmm. Okay, you see that? I have to use a scanner, right? Yeah, now it makes sense. Scanner sc equals to new scanner file reader, and then let's import that as well. Import java.util.scanner. Done. Okay, and then I do sc sc. The error cannot find the symbol. Import java.util.scanner. Really? Is it because I have capital S? Okay, so my name is John Smith. I'm 27 years. Okay. Do you print the character at your counter variable inside the while loop? I do print it. I think I should print it in the next line. Stand. What did you do? Print the. I think we should view solution. It's been long. Okay, they want me to do this. Counter equals to counter reader dot read, and then not equals to -1. Okay, that's what they taught us, right? A read method reads the file one character at a time. The following code shows how to print each character in the file, which print the contents of the file as written. Yeah, Kaushik. That is 200 grams sprout. Hmm. The following code shows how to print each character in the file, which will effectively print the contents of the file as written. So read, well, read content and read content. These are the ready and read. The ready method makes sure that there is a content to read, and the dot read method reads the file one character at a time. The following code shows. Okay, so the read method will be -1 if there's nothing on the next line. So counter equals to reader dot read, and then it checks is counter not equals to -1, then it will print the counter. Okay, and then we do reader dot close. Okay, this is the way to actually print. Okay, reader dot read not equals to -1. This is something very new to me. They just turn this in character counter. What's that doing? What is this doing? This counter not equals to -1. How do they know it will be -1? File reader dot read. Let's see how the counter variable actually works. Sure, I can explain how the counter variable works in the code you provided. The code snippet you provided as file reader to read characters from a file one at a time. The counter variable plays a crucial role. Counter variable is initialized to 0, reading the character while loop iterates as long and by reader is not equals to -1. Okay, the read method attempts to read a single character from the file. If character is read successfully, it's returned as an integer value representing the character's Unicode. Okay, see all this in the back, they didn't actually clarify it, right? So it's returning the Unicode and it's stored. Okay, now it makes sense, right? And in the end, the read returns my see. Who'll tell me all this? Nothing's written over here. Okay, that's where the confusion was. Okay, let's go next. It took me 30 minutes to complete this one. It should have taken me 22 minutes. That's it. So file writer. Now we'll write on some file. Okay. So let's see. File writer output. Okay. Write your own file. Output dot write and then statement. It's very straightforward actually. And then the statement will be written. Output dot write statement 0 to 5. What does that mean? Offset and length. Okay. Okay, if you want to write specific portion of the string, okay, this will start from 0th position and only take the 5 length 5 close. Okay, add import statement on top. Okay, import java.io.file writer import java.io.io exception, and here we'll have to let them know throws io exception, then declare a file writer object using output.txt. Okay, file writer equals to new file writer, and then here I give output.txt, which will be the name of our file. लेकिन अगर okay, how else should I write it? I thought this is the way, right? File writer output equals to new file writer. Okay, that's what I've also written. Uh-huh. File write. Okay, and then now it's time to write to our file in the following order. Create a string named output text and set it to any message you want. Okay, String output text any message I want. That's so dumb actually. And use write method to write the message to the file. Okay, so file writer dot write, that will be very simple. I just have to do the output text and then it will just write it. That seems so unreal actually. Finally close your file writer object. Yeah, that's important. File writer dot close. That is done. Next. Okay, we should also see the output file, right? Not the file reader, file writer. Okay, the output file is not there. IO exception. Errors are unwanted. Cannot be handled by a program. Crashing. Exceptions are issues that may occur. So now they're clarifying what's errors, what's exception. Okay, I have last 10 minutes to study. Let's complete this. Errors are unwanted issues that occur in a program that cannot be handled by a program. They may even result in a program crashing. Exceptions are issues that may occur when a program is running that can be foreseen or caught by the program. So errors are unwanted issues that occur in a program that cannot be handled by a program. Errors, okay. They may even result in a program crashing. Exceptions are issues that may occur when a program is running that can be foreseen or caught by the program. For example, if a user passes an incorrect file path in the arguments of a Java program. There are two types of exceptions. So exceptions happen in during runtime. So when you run and then you get some exception, that's the exception. That's what we call exception. Okay. And then there's another thing, when we compile we get some errors, so that's the difference actually. I think in here in Java, situations where things might go wrong in program and predominantly handled by error and exception classes. So error mostly we use for the things which goes wrong during the compile time. There are two types of exceptions, checked and unchecked. Checked exceptions are the exceptions that are thrown when a program is compiling, and unchecked exceptions typically occur during runtime. Checked exceptions are exceptions that are thrown when program is compiling, and unchecked exceptions typically occur when during runtime. Okay. A developer can check if a block of code is going to throw an exception by using a try catch block, essentially trying some code out to see if an exception occurs or not, and then catching the exception and running a separate block of code in those situations. This allows us to prevent the exception, unless we want it, from being thrown out of the main method and crashing the program. IO exceptions are exceptions that are related to input and or output in a program and are classified as checked exceptions. Okay. IO exceptions are checked exceptions. Some examples of IO exceptions occur include failed attempts at trying to access a file, the end of a file has been reached, the file a program is attempting to access cannot be found, an input-output operation has been interrupted. We can code our program to handle IO exception in areas of our code where we are dealing with input and output. To start off, we must first import the IOException class into our program using import. This We can code our program to handle exception in areas of code. Okay. To start off, we must first import the IOException class with our program using import Java exception. Okay. Have a look at the block of code below to see how we have modified one of the examples from previous exercise to use catch exception. When we catch exception in this manner, we no longer have to declare that our methods throw exceptions since we have handled it at this level. There are many ways we may choose to handle an exception. We may choose to print an error using system.out.println or run a new instance of a program. Okay, string statement equals to something. Try file writer output equals to new file writer output.txt. Okay. Output.write statement writes output.close. Okay, they tried this and then they catch the exception system.out.println. There has been a IO exception. System.out.println e prints the actual exception. And actually, so if we hadn't done this try and catch block, it would have failed here and we couldn't have done anything after this. Sorry, I think I'll have to end this live stream now since it's already been late. We can continue tomorrow as well. Yeah.